I think the decision on the profile itself has pretty well been made. I think what we have been working our way through is the options in terms of the allocation of vehicles and architectures to these plants, because it's no longer a simple question of deciding what a particular plant in Italy does, but is to find out how that plant fits within a much larger manufacturing base, which includes the U.S., it includes all of NAFTA, all of Latin America, and now Asia. So these decisions are not Italian-centric. They're part of a much larger discussion that requires an optimization, which, to be perfectly honest, is really not something which is within the purview of the Italian environment. So the discussions that we're having, and we have had, the obstinate sort of reaction of some parts of the unions to try and force decisions on Fiat is not going to work. I mean, because the bet is too large. It's a global bet. I can't take a provincial view of this, and I won't. Having said this, we remain committed to building the infrastructure that we made the commitment to last year, as long as we don't get obstacled, as long as we don't get rocks thrown in our direction.
These strikes won't help you?
I think the strike, personally, is a very, very bad idea.
Why?
Simply because of the fact that it is not the manner in which one would encourage investment in this country. I'm sure that our workers understand this.
Even a one-day strike?
But even a 5-minute strike is a nonsensical thing to do. I mean, it accomplishes nothing. You're telling somebody who's trying to invest in this country that you are unwilling to participate. That's what it says. And you're trying to impose conditions on that investment which you cannot control. And so it's a very short-lived strategy. And if they actually think that they can push this through, and effectively if we get a reaction out of our workforce that shows that a predominant portion of our workers do not want Fiat in this country, I keep on going back to this, we'll get the message. My view is that the majority of our workers do want this here. So let's not worry about the fringe elements of union representation. They're not Italy. Thank God.
The possibility of Fiat moving away is real. I don't think they would move all their current production in Italy, but there could be a trend toward at least a partial delocalization. This trend could be followed by other Italian companies that maybe now are refrained from doing so. If Fiat gives up, moving away from Italy is like Italy that gives up.
Marchionne is facing globalization. It's a man of his time, and our problem with some union, only some union, which are the minus part of the whole movement, are still very ideological. So you have someone which is really pragmatic, Marchionne, and which wants to go ahead, and on the other side the CGL that tries to use the Italian rules to play like a veto player, and that's a real problem. I don't think that Fiat can really leave Italy completely, because it's the main market of Fiat, and because Fiat is an important brand which also has Ferrari, which has been doing very well all over the world and which is already well known. What Marchionne could decide is to take the brain and his heart in the US, and this could be anyway a problem, because at that point we will only have the production of the car, but there will be all the Italian style, all the made in Italy, which would be lost. On the other side, what is really sad for Italy, the real problem for Italy, if Marchionne really decides to leave, is that the loss of occupation, and that's the first point, but then there will be also a consequence on our system, because it still is the main industry we have in Italy.